there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Doug, and I don't really have another fountain pen review for you today, but I did want to wish everyone a very happy new year for 2020. I have been with family and friends and enjoying the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, and I didn't want to make it look like I've gone away completely. I have a number of things lined up. So I thought I'd give you sort of a preview of what I'm going to do over the next number of weeks on my channel. And I'm going to start with this pen set that I received on loan a few weeks ago. I've actually been working on the provenance of this and some of the history of this pen, very famous pen, for a while, and I was going to clean this pen set up and do a writing sample and all of that kind of thing, but this is a Parker 51. It might look black on video, but if I get closer you can see it is that deep burgundy color with a gold-filled cap. In my research on this particular pen and pencil and ballpoint pen set, this is a Parker Jotter that goes with it, and this is the Parker pencil, which is a clutch, push to clutch pencil. And this set, it looks like it's from 1954. As far as I can tell, it was in a set called the Imperial Trio. This pen set and a number of other pens that I'm going to be looking at over the next few weeks have come into my possession on loan from a very good friend, and he's allowed me to just said, well, just do what you want with them. As I said, I've been looking at the history of this particular pen and determined that, you know, it probably hasn't been inked up in 30 years. It looks like it has a functioning sack, and everything works okay, but I haven't even tried to clean it. And I think I've recommended to the owner that we take this to a professional for cleaning and whatever restoration is necessary on it, because I don't want my amateur hands on it, especially since this trio set might be fairly unique and fairly rare. It looks like it came out of this case comes out of Canada from 1954. So I was going to do a video on this, but I'm going to leave that for a professional to clean and get working again, and then I will do my overview and review of that Parker 51 trio, Imperial Trio set. But I did want to talk about some of the other pens that my friend has loaned me for evaluation, review, examination. And over the next number of weeks I'm going to intersperse some of these pens into my regular, less expensive pen videos as I receive them in the mail. And so that set is going to go out. The Parker 51 set is going out. But I'm going to look at this. This is a Pelikan M200. And as far as I can see, it comes from around the 1980s. It has an old style finial on it. It's a fairly small pen. I have cleaned this pen out. And I have not re-inked it at all. But as you can see, there's an ink window here. This is a piston, and the piston works fine. So I don't think there's any restoration needed for this pen. But we're going to take a look at this lovely Pelikan pen in a future video. Next up is a Sheaffer Targa. Now this is a beautiful pen. I've been playing with this pen for a while. I've been cleaning it. I've got before and after photos. I've polished the nib. I've cleaned it all out. I have not inked it up yet, but I want to do a full review of this beautiful Sheaffer Targa 1030, and this is in a light brown Ronce, I think it's called, and this is just a gorgeous gorgeous pen. I just love that classic Sheaffer nib, and I think this one is, well, it's certainly 14 karat gold, but I can't really determine whether it's fine or medium. I think it's a medium. But I'm looking forward to doing an overview, history, and review of this beautiful Sheaffer Targa. And it comes from, I think, the 70s, that one. I also have a Parker Classic. This one, I think, dates from 1987. Very, very unique pen. Very, very slim, with a very unique section and nib. And we'll be looking at that. It posts in a very interesting way with that small chassis on the end that clicks into the cap and makes for what you would say is probably a unique writing experience. Again, I have not inked up any of these pens. That's the Parker Classic. And then I've got a cross Radiance in Amazon Green. This is a unique fountain pen. And this comes from the mid-90s, I believe. This was a gift to my friend. And an interesting cross nib. And there's some interesting, talk about cross fertilization among pen companies here with this pen. In that I believe that Namiki has done some of the work and provided nibs or even the whole pen. But there's some history there that we'll take a look at. Very unique pen. And I've done some cleaning and polishing on that as well. And then I've got this is my friend's pen. This is a Monteverde Imprezza. I have reviewed previously my copy of the Monteverde Imprezza, which is the Baoer 051. And so they do look similar, don't they? So I'm going to do a bit of a comparison of a Chinese copy of a Monteverde Imprezza. And there's a look at that interesting black number 6 nib and this rose gold kind of section. It's a very interesting fountain pen. And then we're going to look at, and this is in no order, I may do them in random orders, but this is a Taccia, and this is a Taccia Momenta. And the Momenta in this particular resin this one's called Midnight Clouds. And my friend bought this when he was in the United States, I believe in Los Angeles. And this reminded me immediately of a Visconti Opera fountain pen. Even though I haven't had my hands on a Visconti Opera, I know what they look like. And this is a really interesting pen. Of course, that is a steel nib. That's a steel medium. But I just love this resin and that spiral fluted design. So again, I have not cleaned some of these pens. I have not inked them up. And I'm going to do some research on them, and we'll do videos. And what's next? This is an Elysee Gold Nib. This comes from about the 1970s, I think. From some of these things are hard to date, but from looking on the internet, you can sort of get an idea of when they come from. But this is a very interesting pen. This is a gold nib, and again, like that Parker, this is a very unique nib. This one probably hasn't been inked up in 20 years or so. So I'm going to take a look at maybe cleaning this one up, inking it up, and seeing if we can get it to write. Doing a little history on that particular interesting fountain pen. Next up is, this is my friend's pen. This is a Visconti Rembrandt. And this Rembrandt might be about 10 years old. It has the inlaid Visconti on that clip, which they have replaced now with a more modern laser engraved. And so I'm going to compare his Visconti Rembrandt with my Visconti Van Gogh. And there's a look at here's one of the differences right away. You can see that my Van Gogh has number 5 style nib, and the Visconti has the old style. This is a steel nib. The old style number 6 size nib on it, but they both have magnetic caps. And we'll see how those pens compare. There's the Rembrandt. And we put my Starry Night back in its box. And then we come to my Christmas present from my children. And this is a custom-made pen from a local pen maker. And this is called a JustWright, and this is a calligraphy pen. And it came with 3 nibs. I've got one in it right now, and that's a 1.5 stub. And I sort of briefly showed this earlier in a video. Look at that resin. So I'm going to take this pen for a test drive in a future video. And then I have a number of pens that are on order and should be here in one might be here tomorrow, one might be here next week, but this is what I'm looking at in the next week or so coming in the mail. I have a Penbbs 491 on order. I know that a number of other people have already gotten theirs, and I ordered at the same time. Makes me frustrated. I'm waiting at my mailbox every day for my 491. Mine is in Corderite. I've never had this color before, but I'm really anxious to see this new model Penbbs. I've also got a Moonman M8 on order, and mine's in the colored sparkle, not the silver or the gold. I couldn't get the gold, and I didn't like the way the silver one sort of mismatched with the gold clip. They didn't change the clip, but the multicolored one really intrigued me. So I want to compare that with my Moonman M6. I also have my third Jinhao 159 on order, and the reason I got this pen was because I bought a Zebra G flexi nib to insert in that Jinhao, and I'm going to give that a try to see how that works. I've never used a flexi pen like that before, so this will be new ground for me and should be fairly interesting, if not laughable, for you. And I have a couple of other things planned for the next month or so. One is when I get my Parker short cartridges in the mail, I'm going to do a survey of just what different cartridges fit different pens, because I don't use cartridges myself, but a lot of people do, and it's really quite frustrating. Which pens will take standard international, which pens take the short cartridges, the long cartridges, can you put 2 of the short cartridges in a particular pen, and which pens take proprietary cartridges, so you know what to buy. And from now on in my new pen videos, I'm going to add some dimensions to my videos in the dimension section, which would be the inside and outside diameter and length of the cartridge that the particular pen can take, which is good information for a lot of people in making their choices on the pens. As soon as the Penbbs 500 comes out, I'm looking at it every second of every day on Etsy to see when it is going to bear its head. It was supposed to be in December, and here it is January. We're still not seeing it. So as soon as the 500 comes out, I'm ordering that puppy, and we'll do a review as soon as it comes to me. I also have an interesting leather satchel that I want to show you that I've used for a number of years now. And since David Parker did a video on one of his leather satchels, or a company that he was reviewing, I thought you might want to take a look at this, because this particular company that did this leather satchel for me is I think one of the best products I've had in many, many years. So I want to show that. So those are some of the things to look forward to on my channel. And I thank you for watching. I thank you for liking and subscribing. And I will see you soon with another fountain pen video. Thank you so much. And that's all she wrote.